we're back. This is John.
Hey, it's Paul.
And it's Eric.
And it's What If Geeks, and it is 2021. Yay! No sound effects, sorry. But yeah, so we haven't done a Geekly Weekly in a while, as Eric pointed out and Paul pointed out in our message. So we figured we kind of like throw a random Geekly Yearly together for to open up the year. It's definitely not going to be the first episode that you get out of us for 2021, because we still have like the last Mandalorian review that's going to pop up here and some other shit we were doing. But sometime here in the next week or so, you'll get this one. So we're just kind of bullshitting about what we're expecting out of 2021 and some of the stuff we've missed over the last 2.5 months that we have not really released anything. Because we just started we just started getting back into the habit of releasing episodes with all the Mandalorian stuff since we've gone back to audio. So we figured we would just kind of like sit around and bullshit with everybody and see how everybody's doing.
Yeah, I mean,
2020.
Yeah, I've done virtually nothing but watch TV series and movies pretty much for the last 3 months.
Yeah, I'm going to caveat with not that 2021 is starting off any better, but just I'm pretty sure Billy Joel's getting ready to come out with a song.
Yeah. I did start on the Vikings TV series. You guys ever watch that?
Oh, was that good?
It's actually pretty good. It is pretty good. I'm only into season 2, but almost season 3 now. But yeah, it's actually decent. Surprised.
Well, Heather and I started on something that I mentioned last year. I think we actually released in an episode. But if you remember, CBS All Access was going to release a new version of The Stand from Stephen King.
I started that too, yeah.
I started that. We are, I think, 2 episodes behind right now. But maybe we might only be 1 episode behind. Because of the way they release it was it 2 and then 1 every week? But they're doing a weekly release, and that's something I want to touch on too and get you guys' opinion on. But they're doing a weekly release on that one, like every Friday, Thursday or Friday, I forget. I think it's Friday. But I like this a lot.
So I watched the first 2 episodes of it, and I thought it was okay. I don't know if I liked it a lot, but maybe I'm not far enough yet. But what happened is after I watched that, like, the next night when I was going back to watch TV, I got a recommendation to go watch The Outsider, which is another Stephen King inspired. And I started on that, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I got to finish this. So it took me like 4 days, but I watched all the episodes of The Outsider. And now I got to go back to The Stand. The Outsider, it's a real slow burner. Like, some of it you're going to be like, damn, this episode could have been 20 minutes long, for Christ's sake. But at the same time, there's a lot of sort of intricate plot points in that, and there's a lot of different things going on, and you kind of gotta follow along. But yeah, it's not bad. It's interesting, actually. It's like a very well, I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's a very gentle easing into what the final outcome is, and then it just sort of like leaves you with questions after that. Like, oh, okay.
All right, that's cool. Because I'm always looking for something to watch, so yeah, that'd be good. All right, so Paul, have you started watching The Stand?
I've not. My family got COVID beginning of December, so December was like, I don't know what happened. It was full of like not feeling great, couldn't smell or taste anything. I feel like we've been locked down for a lot longer, but that was like barely left the house, like picked some stuff up, but didn't see any human beings. Like, Christmas was not a blast. It was, so now that, we've turned the calendar, we got better, like right before, like maybe the day before Christmas, something like that. We were sort of not contagious anymore. Were
you feeling better at that point?
Yeah, we'd felt better.
Well, that's good.
By like the 18th, but I think by the 22nd for sure we were sort of, and 23rd we were not contagious, but we didn't try to get around anybody until like the 2 days after Christmas, something like that.
When's 2020 allowed you to have Christmas? That's something.
Yeah.
By the 20th, Paul was walking around with an axe like Jack Nicholson.
Yeah. And so we just started, like, it was all I could do to watch, keep up with The Mandalorian so that we could do the recordings. And I didn't watch, I started Wonder Woman 84 like Christmas night. Didn't finish it until like Saturday, this past Saturday. So I've not seen a ton of stuff. I haven't seen, like, I wanted to watch Soul, haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, you could probably wait as long as you needed to.
Watched it for the second time.
Yeah.
Oh, really? For the second time?
Yeah, we saw it. Yeah, we watched it. Oh, hey, on Paul's note, shameless plug for our Wonder Woman 84 review.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Go listen to our Wonder Woman 84 review. See how many golden lassos we get.
I got, for Christmas, I got the family projector and a 300-inch screen we could put up on the pool.
Yeah, I still have to come over to your house.
Pool enclosure. And so we watched Soul on that. But I got to tell you, at the end of that movie, I was like, man, what the hell? Like, somebody on an acid trip wrote this. This is crazy.
Right.
It is.
Like, it's so weird. It's like, I mean, you talk about a different world, but, they take the normal Pixar sort of character, thing that they always do, right? And then they go into that other world. It's like, what the fuck? Like, the Jerry's with I don't even know what the hell's going on.
You know what it was like? You know the old Pixar theory where they all are one universe?
That's how.
Almost like Pixar went, now fuck you, try this one. It really is.
It is wild, man. Half that movie, I was like, what the fuck is going on right now? I mean, it's not like you can't follow. You can follow fine. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's very out there, but it's good. It's good. I liked it.
I thought it was okay.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't love it, but
all right. So going back to The Stand, before I forget, two-part question: how many people have read the book, and how many people have seen the original miniseries that was on TV back in the 80s? Eric,
I saw the original miniseries.
I saw the original miniseries as well. I have never read the book.
Yeah, me either.
All right. I love the book. I've read it about 3 or 4 times. I really thought in March of 2020 we were headed that way. I was kind of scared. I was like, if I see somebody named Campion, I'm going to shit my pants. For anyone who's read the book, you'll get that. Yeah. All right. So I've read the book and I've seen the first miniseries they did. With no spoilers at all, the only thing I will say for this series is, one, I really like it a lot, but for anyone who has not read the book, it might be a little discombobulating because they do a lot of back and forth, like time. You know how the Arrow TV series kind of did that, where like he's in present day and then they flash back to his time alone on the island and yada yada, and it got like, they do that. They do like current, middle of pandemic, and then they flash back to what the character was doing, and they kind of jump around, which if you've read the book and you know the characters, it's much easier to follow. Where if you don't, it kind of gets a little jarring, because like when we watched the first couple episodes, I think Heather's only read the book once and a long time ago, and she was like, okay, wait, what the fuck is going on? and she caught on, and it was okay. But so just to warn you, it kind of jumps back and forth. However, it's much better than the Molly Ringwald, Gary Sinise miniseries from back in the day. It's really good. I like it a lot so far. So there's one thing. So if you've been watching it, comment down below. Let us know what you think of it. Yeah, see, I'll throw a few spots to the fans.
There you go.
There you go. Because I never did.
Did either of you guys check out The Midnight Sky?
No.
So that's George Clooney directed, and he's in the leading role. It's based on a sci-fi novel, but man, it is depressing and a little bit odd. The premise of it is that he's like a scientist that sort of gave up his opportunity to have family and stuff, for his career. And he ends up at this Arctic research station, and
he's got a beard in this thing, right?
yeah,
Okay, my daughter, my wife, and my brother Corey watched it, and there's a joke in there later. But go ahead.
So so he's at this Arctic research station. There's basically a world calamity. The entire world pretty much is dead, like everybody, except people, I guess, that are on the extreme northern or southern latitudes, whatever. They didn't get killed by it. But even he is like close to. He's got sort of a map he looks at every once in a while that shows like the encroaching radiation or whatever, and he's really close to being gobbled up himself. And there's really nothing left but the poles on the Earth that are safe. And there is this spaceship that had gone off to, I guess, help humanity continue exploration, blah, blah, blah. But they're coming back to Earth now. And so his only mission in life, and he's dying, by the way, in this movie, and he has to keep doing blood transfusions and stuff, giving them to himself. Or maybe it's not transfusions, but cycling his blood through a machine to clean it out. Or anyway, his whole purpose now, since everybody on Earth is dead, is to tell that group of, I think there's only 5 of them on the spaceship, don't come back to Earth. We're done here. Don't come back. Whatever you found out there, go back to it.
Wow.
And so that's why the movie gets depressing, because by the time those people show up and he finally talks to them, they don't want to go back. And that's kind of like. Anyway, but at some point in this little girl shows up at the Arctic station, and supposedly all the families and all the people have been evacuated, and there's nobody left but him. But this little girl shows up out of nowhere, and so I won't tell you what the little girl's all about. That's kind of the point of the movie, but it's another slow burner. It's kind of there's a lot of sitting in silence and watching him do things, and you know what I mean? It's kind of building up to a sort of how boring and how his purpose is just this one purpose of, God, there's only 5 other people left and they're going to die if they come back here.
Yeah.
So it's all a bit, anyway, it's worth a watch though. I mean, it's not great, don't get me wrong, but it's worth a watch. It's interesting.
What's that movie where Robert Redford sails and then he gets in the sailing, like most of the movies you just watching Robert Redford sail. And I tried to watch them, like, I can't just sit here and watch Robert Redford sail.
All is lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what is Midnight Sky on Netflix?
Netflix, yeah. So that was, they've got exclusive rights to that. I'm sure it'll be on there for a while.
All right, so let me tell you this and see if I can make it sound as funny as it was. So we were all hanging out in the living room, me, my wife, my brother, my daughter, and we were scrolling through Netflix looking for something to watch. And, you got the little preview trailer thing or the window in the beginning. So, the window pops for Midnight Sky. It's George Clooney and his beanie and his beard and, his tan jacket, right? And my daughter, Jessie, goes, "Oh, that's that Santa Claus movie." And I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Right? I was like completely out of it for a second. Like I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Midnight Sky?" No. Corey was like, "Santa Claus?" He was like, "What the fuck?" She's like, "Yeah, he's Santa Claus." And I was like, "Oh, wait a minute. Do you guys remember the Fat Man trailer that I showed you?
Yeah.
With Mel Gibson? She thought it was that."
Oh, that's funny.
And I was like, "Oh, every white guy with a beard and a beanie looks alike, right? What the fuck?" I was like, "That's a Fat Man." And she's arguing with me, right? So like 2 days later, I come home from work and the 3 of them are in the living room watching this movie, and it's like most of the way through. And I go, "Is this that Midnight Sky movie?" And Corey goes, "Yeah." And I keep waiting for fucking Santa Claus to show up. He's like, "This ain't no fucking Christmas movie." He's like, "There hasn't been a reindeer or a fucking Christmas tree or nothing." And he will not let this drop at all, because this is how he is. He's his Uncle Corey, so he will never let you drop. The whole time he's like, "Where's the goddamn reindeer?"
Speaking of Santa movies, something did come out just before Christmas that we watched as a family, Christmas Chronicles 2 with Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn.
Yeah, I liked it.
That wasn't so bad. That was good for a family movie.
Especially for a sequel, because I really liked the first one.
Yeah, it wasn't as good as the first one, to be fair, I don't think.
Oh, it wasn't. It was not.
The problem was the villain more than anything.
Oh, yeah, especially when they start relying on more CGI and shit and whatever.
Yeah.
But in all fairness, for a sequel to a movie that I liked and didn't even know was coming out, was really good. I enjoyed it.
Did you guys watch Tenet, the time travel? Well, maybe that's not the right way to put it, but the time.
No.
Give that one a shot, maybe.
Did you like it?
No, but only because I watched it twice and I still wasn't quite sure what the hell was going on. It's one of those. Imagine this. You've watched time travel movies. We've talked about time travel movies on here before. They can be complicated and crazy. Now imagine a movie where individual things can travel in time without altering the timeline everybody else is in, right? So one of the opening scenes, hopefully I'm not spoiling anything, a bullet hits something and then goes backwards out of the wall and like puts it back together and then flies through somebody and kills them. Because the bullet went backwards in time, but everything else was still normal.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so that's just a super easy small primer of the weirdness that happens in this movie, because the timeline ain't changing. The timeline for individual things can change.
Wow.
Okay. And I will tell you, this wasn't high on my need to watch list, but it was big on my radar because of a lot of podcasts and shit that I listened to.
Yeah.
They all kept talking about, with theaters closing and everything else, that Tenet was going to be the one that opened up theaters again,
right.
And everyone was relying on this movie. And yeah, a lot of what I'm hearing is what Eric just said, was kind of like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. So,
they were trying to get theaters open, and they kept pushing this movie back because they thought this would be the thing that brought the movie industry back from the shutdown and the lockdowns and all the stuff. And by when this came out in August or September, whenever it was, like
it was August.
We were nowhere near it. We were nowhere near, in a place to mass go to the theaters again. So
yeah, we're still not. So,
right.
And who made it? What's
the
Christopher Nolan? Is Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, because that was a big thing. It was Christopher Nolan's next big film. Everybody was looking forward to it, and then it just kind of got okay.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
We as a society have to get our shit together so that theaters can open, so we can see Black Widow in the theater.
No shit. Damn. So are we jumping into that?
What?
Are we jumping into all that shit, like MCU stuff?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, we got a lot of releases over the past few months. We really didn't talk much about them. So,
all right. Well,
you want to start there?
Yeah. Give me 2 seconds. All right. So so on to MCU.
So.
So yes, since quote unquote last we talked, because I don't everything that's been released has been Mandalorian. Dude, there's a lot of shit going on in the MCU. I know we briefly went over one or two things, but let's go over everything. So we're still waiting on Black Widow, to go back to what Paul said.
Well, I mean, okay, so I'll try to list them quickly because there's a huge number of fucking things we have now. So the confirmation of movies we knew we were coming is one thing, and some of them got delayed and whatever. But on top of that, they put out so many other title announcements for TV series and stuff. It's like, holy shit! Like, I don't even know where to go with all this, So, it's like Captain Marvel 2. We kind of already knew that was happening. Eternals. That was supposed to have gone down, and
to be honest, Captain Marvel 2 I could have done without, but go ahead.
Well, yeah, Eternals we knew was coming. It was supposed to be in November, I think, and then it got delayed a whole bunch. Ironically, if you got the Lego catalog that just came out, because I guess they must do the contracts before the movies ever get released. There's Eternals Lego sets in the catalog, even though the movie hasn't come out now.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, like the ship, the little triangular wedge ship. I can't remember what the hell it's called, but that's in there. That's one of the sets you can buy, and you could buy it. It's not like they stopped it. It was just, I think it must have something to do with the contracts they do with the toy companies, because that happened with forget what. There was something else that happened with though, where they released the toys just ahead of the movie because the movie got delayed.
Well, and that's why, like, thinking back about the Mandalorian, they didn't license any of the Baby Yoda stuff.
Yeah, until after
the show, right? Because they didn't want to make that spoil, because they knew that they would spoil it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so Captain Marvel 2, Eternals, Shang-Chi, the Blade sequel, reboot, whatever the hell it's going to be.
It's got to be a reboot.
Yeah, Spider-Man 3, Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness. I feel like I'm forgetting. Black Widow, you said.
Moon Knight.
Fantastic Four. Well, I'm trying to do the movies and then.
Okay.
Whatever the next Ant-Man movie is going to be.
Yeah, Fantastic Four, Ant-Man sequel, the new Guardians of the Galaxy, fourth movie, whatever the hell it's going to be.
Yeah.
Thor: Love and Thunder.
Second Black Panther,
Yep.
Thor: Love and Thunder. Okay, I think I covered them all for movies, and then on top of that, now you got TV series. Some we already knew. Loki we knew was coming. WandaVision we knew about already.
Comes out day after tomorrow.
Falcon and Winter Soldier, the What If series. And then we got Quantumania, She-Hulk, Hawkeye's a movie, yeah. Is Hawkeye going to be a movie?
Series.
That's a series. Okay.
I think so.
Moon Knight, you said. Mrs. Marvel, is that going to be a movie? No, that's going to be a series.
Miss Marvel's a series. Yeah.
And then I'm forgetting more
but
things.
It is going to tie into Captain Marvel too.
Because there's something with Armor Wars. Is that what it is? Something
Armor Wars
crazy.
and Secret Invasion.
And Secret Invasion, yeah. Okay. So, holy crap. That's, I don't even know how many that is. 20, almost 20 titles. Half of which are new. They were on top of the movies we already knew about.
All right. So somebody pick something, and what do you want to talk about first? All right. Let's the minor ones out of the way first. All right, good.
I was actually going to jump straight to Fantastic Four because it's an interesting choice. And do we know what they're going to do with that? Because
no, but here's the interesting part about that, and I was going to save that for a little bit, but we can do it. Kevin Feige had come out when everybody once Disney bought Fox. Kevin Feige came out when everyone was asking about Fantastic Four, X-Men. Remember, he said, "Hey, look, we've got a 5-year plan. Don't expect nothing. I'm going to wait on that." And we said back when they bought Fox, he's trying to pull something. Just wait, because he's Kevin Feige. He doesn't always let all the cards out. If you've got that in your pocket, you're not just going to hold it. So something's going to happen. So he announces Fantastic Four, which leads into those other properties that we can talk about later. But yeah, Fantastic Four to be announced now, I think is smart. You announced that before the X-Men because everybody's waiting on X-Men. They're waiting on X-Men and Deadpool. And something just came out about that too, so we'll talk about that later. But if he drops, okay, we're going to do Fantastic Four, the first 2 movies they did with Jessica Alba and whoever, the guy from The Shield, okay, they weren't horrible, but they weren't great. And then that last one was a complete fiasco. If you're going to announce anything out of what you bought out of Fox, to say that, okay, we're taking on the Fantastic Four, that's going to win hearts and minds. People want that. People want to see the MCU do Fantastic Four.
Yeah, and he did an interview with Variety specifically about all these announcements. And when the Fantastic Four came up, his quote was something to the effect of, I'm not quoting him verbatim, but something to the effect of how excited he is about bringing those characters like up to par where they should have been, which makes it feel like, yeah, I'm going to destroy everything that's been done already.
And good.
Yeah,
I don't want that last one, which, I get it. We've had our conversations about swapping race and gender and this and that and whatever. I want the original Fantastic Four from the comics the way they were. I mean, you can update it a little bit because you're going to have to, but I don't know how they're going to introduce them. That's going to be interesting if they were either already off-world and they had their powers or whatever, and we can discuss that on another show. But I want that original Fantastic Four. Give me that family and give me a good Doctor Doom. Or save Doctor Doom. Save him. You might as well save him. Let him fight something else and get that out of people's minds so you completely catch everybody unawares and do something completely different and then bring Doctor Doom in. Because that's the other rumor. There was going to be a separate Doctor Doom movie, kind of like DC's doing Black Adam, which could be interesting. But you've got to tie those two together because Victor Von Doom and Reed Richards have history. So I don't know, but yeah, I definitely want to see the original Fantastic Four come back, do something. I want a CGI thing. Don't give me a guy in a suit, and don't give me whatever that brick horrible CGI thing was in the last movie. Get the guys that are doing the Hulk and the guys that are doing Colossus in Deadpool, and put them together in a fucking room and let them do the thing because they'll do it right.
So, Fantastic Four is interesting because it gives opportunities for them to sort of bring in like real world-threatening sort of villains, right? I guess Doctor Doom is one of them, but I mean, you've got like Galactus and Annihilus, and like you've got these other sort of epic, Avengers in-game sort of battles you could set up with the Fantastic Four just because of the commonality in villains that they have, right? It could be really interesting to do something, but then again, I look at all that and I say, well, if there's no Silver Surfer, why are you doing that? Why are you messing around?
I have a feeling. All right, so that first one, either they straight up do the Doctor Doom thing again, which has been done twice already, 3 times technically because he came back in the other one, or they stay away from him completely in the first movie. Maybe by the 3rd movie, depending on how fast they crank these Fantastic Four movies out, you're leading up to the next big compilation, big bad, and that's Galactus. So right before that, maybe in like phase 5, you have Silver Surfer show up, and it's leading up to Galactus all through phase 5 and phase 6.
Isn't there some restriction on Silver Surfer? I can't remember what I read, but they can't do anything with it for a little while, right?
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Shit. I thought I read something, but I may be wrong.
I think the thing about the Fantastic Four is, though, like, it worked really well as a comic way back in the day. But if you think about the powerful heroes in the Avengers, they almost work better in a multiverse world where they're the only powerful people. Right? Because they are... Mr. Fantastic's power is not that great. Invisible Woman's power is not that great. Thing is a lesser-powered Hulk. And the Human Torch, right?
Well, yeah.
Probably the best among them.
They were the original team that they came up with, and they based their powers off of the 4 elements.
Right. But so the reason it works is they're a family. Like, I think that's the sort of cool part of that story is they're a family.
Teamwork makes the dream work, man.
Yeah. But so it would be cool if they were, they're in a multiverse where, they fight their villains and Thor doesn't come help or someone else doesn't come help.
Yeah, and I think the biggest restriction that Marvel has, especially with the MCU being established for 23 movies, is so many of these heroes are based in New York. It worked in the 60s and 70s and 80s. But nowadays, it's kind of harder to cram all that into one city. Now, I mean, the Fantastic Four go off-world and go to other dimensions and whatever. But, I don't know, trying to work them into this now that this is established. I trust in Kevin Feige. He's our Lord and Savior.
Yeah, I mean, I think they have an easy common thread they can pull because they're also they've already done Captain Marvel. They're going to do Captain Marvel 2. The Skrulls are the easy thing to tie Fantastic Four into the existing franchise. So that would be actually a little bit unfortunate because they're kind of a boring villain for
they were up to Secret Invasion and they're getting ready to do that. So
yeah, maybe right. In fact, that could be a third tie-in to just bring it all together. So
yeah. All right, so we'll tackle the Fantastic Four thing later, and we'll even do maybe we'll do a casting call kind of thing.
Oh shit! They had what was that guy that had he had the Skrull powers and the team's powers all together?
The Super Skrull.
The Super Skrull. Yeah, there you go. That's a good one.
You're welcome. I got your back. Captain Geek is in the house. All right, so let's move on from Fantastic Four. We'll get back to that later on. I'm sure whatever they do is going to be fucking great, and I'm going to eat it up. So what's next?
You want to talk about Moon Knight? I feel like you're excited about Moon Knight, John, more than I am anyway.
All right, so I like the character of Moon Knight. He's essentially their Marvel's version of Batman, only like he's in white, which doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. He's all in white, but the cool thing about him is, depending on the version you read about, he got his powers from an Egyptian god, so maybe he's got some super strength or whatever the hell he's got, but he's got multiple personality disorder. So there's like a lot in that comic that's kind of fucked up. But the thing that's actually got me excited for the series is not so much the character. I've always thought the character looked cool and they could do something with it. And he's always been that like C-level hero within the Marvel Universe where he's like, okay, he looks cool, but he pops up here and there and he does something cool and that's it. But I'm kind of hoping they do with him now what they did with Iron Man when they made the first Iron Man movie. And I was like, why the fuck are they making an Iron Man movie? Because he's like a B-level hero, and it started a whole franchise. I hope they can do something with Moon Knight here. The thing that's got me really excited for it is apparently what I just heard today was Oscar Isaac is playing Moon Knight.
Oh, I hadn't heard that. I didn't know he was playing that.
Yeah. So you get a guy like Oscar Isaac in this thing. I'm like, all right, hang on. We just kicked this up a lot of notches. So, because before I was like, all right, it's going to be cool, and I'm going to watch it just because, one, it's Marvel, and I've always, for some reason, like I said, I can't really put my finger on why I like him except for the look. I just like the character. Now you got Oscar Isaac in there, and I'm like, this is going to be something to watch. Anybody got any history with Moon Knight outside of that?
No, not really. I think in November maybe they announced the directors for it. It's a pair of guys that have done a few really small scale things together, Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead. I haven't seen anything they've done. I mean, it's that sort of small scale.
Yeah.
So that always concerns me a little, but new directors can surprise you.
Yeah.
And it's a TV series, to be fair.
Yeah. All right. So, there's a character that I think might be cool, and it's Oscar Isaac. So that's what we got on that one. Moving on.
Yeah, this all night.
Oh, I got shit to say.
You know what? I forgot one earlier. I missed one when I was going through them. I'm looking at the list now. The I Am Groot short series.
Right.
Oh my god. Yeah.
they're hitting every angle, but yeah. Not that I'm excited for that.
This is either going to be comedy gold, or is this going to be like, why did they do this?
Okay.
But I kind of got a feeling it's going to be comedy gold.
Might be. I don't know what they mean by short either. I mean, are we talking like 20-minute or are we talking like 5-minute kind of things? I have no idea what they're doing.
Well, they're also doing a Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. And I don't know how tongue-in-cheek it's going to be, like aligned with the Star Wars holiday special, but I got a feeling, knowing these guys, is going to be like really tongue-in-cheek. Like really, like they're going to lay into it.
I almost hope it's not like that.
Oh, before I forget, we need to do an episode where we talk about the Lego holiday special, the Lego Star Wars Christmas special.
I still haven't watched it yet.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's rewind and talk about that because that's part of this whole New Year thing.
Because that's pretty great. But
okay, no spoilers though. I haven't watched it yet.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's good.
I think for me, the two things I'm looking most forward to, Armor Wars, which I really liked that comic. It's the idea is that Tony Stark's technology gets stolen, and he has to go and shut it down. And so he ends up, there's a bunch of armored heroes and villains that are sort of B and C level, but there were some cool fights and some cool graphics. There's like Stingray, who's an underwater person, the Beetle, some of the guardsmen's.
Right. But it's all guys that incorporate his tech into their stuff. And he's going to go back around. Now, the cool thing about this is where I liked that series too, but here
It's gonna have to be War Machine.
they're running it after Endgame, so it's actually War Machine on Cheadle that's going to be running around doing this. So I like that take on it because really, I mean, after after Endgame, what were you going to do with War Machine?
Right.
To take a classic story like that and put him in it, that's again, it's why I love what they're doing with the MCU because they take old shit and make it fun, and I think it's going to be really good.
And then the second thing for me is What If. Those were some of my favorite comics because you just get to turn writers sort of loose on some idea and just run with it, and I think that's going to be cool.
Yeah, I think we all know that was one of my favorite comic series growing up because it's where we got the name for the show. Maybe just a little bit, but yeah, I cannot wait for this. And you've got now the initial premise is they're taking 23 episodes, one for every one of the movies that's come out in the MCU so far, and that's what they're doing. Now, where they can go from there is, I mean, who knows? And I can't wait to see that too. There's part of me that like wants to get beyond what they're doing there and get into other shit, you know. But I want to see what they're going to do with these 23 episodes. But the fact that they're bringing back like actors from the movies to do the voices, because that's going to be like I think one of the only times you get Robert Downey Jr. back, because I know he came back for that, and I think that's the only time he comes back. So you'll get him as Iron Man one more time in that series, and that's it. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Eric, what you got? Anything you're looking forward to?
On this list?
Yeah, save WandaVision, Spider-Man, and Doctor Strange.
Okay.
We gotta wrap it with that because that's a big discussion.
Fuck, we got a long ways to go. We better wrap it, bro.
Come on.
It's been like 30 minutes already.
Okay. She-Hulk.
You know what? Actually, I am very interested. Outside of series for a second movies, I'm very interested to see what they're going to do with Black Panther 2 now. They very specifically said they're not recasting the role. So the question is what happens, and do they try to do a Wonder Woman power thing and bring in the princess for this, or what's it going to be? So I'm actually really interested to see what they do.
Yeah, and just to go on record, I was all for recasting, and no disrespect to Chadwick Boseman. He was amazing in the role, but I really do think there was so much more to be told about T'Challa's story, and to me, he's Black Panther. So, but I mean, outside of that, yeah, I trust in what they're going to do, and I'll accept it. But I wanted them to keep going with that storyline.
And second thing for me, again, because I really want to see what they do, the Blade reboot, sequel, whatever the hell we're going to call it.
Yeah.
Like, really excited for that one, actually.
Yeah, I think that's going to be cool.
Even with what's his name, Ali?
Ali?
Mahershala, is that what it is? Mahershala
Ali.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I think he's going to do good. I'd like to see them lead into like a Midnight Suns kind of thing, where you get into some of the darker MCU shit. The MCU can do so much with various aspects of their universe.
Will this be the first? Will this be the first recast they do? Because Ali technically was already in the MCU as Cottonmouth, like in the Luke in Luke Cage.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Chris Evans, they weren't in the MCU at the time, right? But Chris Evans was.
That's true. Yeah, you're right.
The first Human Torch, and Michael B. Jordan was the second.
Yeah, that was the whatever. I don't even know what we're calling that one. There's a Foxverse.
Right. All right. So, so to keep this brief, anything in between there and the three I mentioned or X-Men Deadpool? Anything else on that list you guys
I want to throw one more thing in here. I'm less excited about WandaVision than I was at the beginning because of the goddamn trailers. It's making me feel like I'm going to be lost watching this series.
See, like I love Elizabeth Olsen so much that I just that's the only reason I'm looking forward to this. No, I'm looking forward to it.
I feel like we're gonna do the first review and be just like, what the hell was that?
Oh no, I'm pretty sure we are. But so anything else on that list that anybody wants to talk about at all? Okay. All right. So jump into real quick speculation. Going back to what Feige said about the Fox properties and being held off for 5 years, right? He said that, and then you've got Falcon and Winter Soldier coming out, and they've got direct ties to the X-Men through the character of Omega Red, right? We mentioned that in a previous episode. So we know that's there. There are other ties to the X-Men with WandaVision that we can talk about here in a minute. But the other key thing with the Fox properties was Deadpool. And everybody's been speculating. We talked about it to death. What's going to happen with Deadpool, right? Because he had 2 R-rated movies that were amazing. And what the fuck is Disney going to do? Well, they just announced, Kevin Feige came out and said he's sitting down with Ryan Reynolds to have him help usher this thing in. They're looking over the script. They're wrapping up the script so that they can start filming. It is going to be in the MCU, and it is going to be R-rated. What the fuck are they doing? I really think if you remember back to what we talked about before, I said if you keep his movies R-rated, but then you drop him into the MCU, almost like that Stan Lee cameo, but he's stuck in a PG-13 universe, and he knows it, it would be funny. I think that's what they're doing. I think his movies are still going to be R-rated, but then he's going to know, because he knows where he's at. He talks to you. So I think he's really going to know, I'm stuck in this fucking universe and it sucks. So I don't know, but they said straight up, yeah, it's R-rated. And they're writing it now. And Ryan Reynolds was like, yep, I'm sitting down with Kevin Feige, and we're finishing it up, and we're getting ready to start. And it's going to be amazing. So, look, again, I love Kevin Feige. I trust him, so we'll see what happens. But the last word we got is Deadpool's coming, and he's R-rated. So this is going to be amazing. Anybody got anything else? No.
Zero disagreement. I'm sure it'll be amazing.
No, I agree.
I still want him to take over the cameos in the random movies and just have him like pop in, like even if he's just like walking around in the background doing something dumb, it'd be amazing. Just like one scene, just have him be like, "What?"
I know it's completely unrelated, but maybe he could be like a free guy, like random Joker that's walking around and doesn't realize all the shit that's happening around him.
Yeah. Like as Galactus is like destroying parts of the Earth, he's buying a hot dog or a chimichanga. Yeah. Like, or he goes, "What the?" And they cut away from him right before he says, "Fuck." Yeah. There's a lot they can fucking mine there. It'd be great. All right, so now I'll get into WandaVision. WandaVision comes out this Friday. I doubt you're gonna get this episode before that, but you may. We'll see if I can hurry up and edit it tomorrow night. You'll get it right before the episode drops. I think I heard they're dropping 2 episodes and then 1 a week for a total of 8 or 9. I forget.
2 episodes on January 15th. Yep. And then after that, they're going to do 1 episode every single week until there's going to be 9. So it'll continue for a couple months.
Yeah. And I agree with you where we're kind of going to be what the fuck is going on, but I'll make my prediction from what I've gotten out of the trailers. I think this whole thing is going to be Wanda losing her mind because Vision died, because that's a big thing in the comics, is she's kind of scatterbrained, to put it lightly. She's out of her mind half the time, and her powers go crazy because of her inability to cope with reality. And some of it started with the death of Vision in the comics. I think that's what they're doing here. I think everything you see with her and him is her using her powers to warp reality and create a version of him or something. And that's going to lead into everything that happens in the MCU after this. I really think that.
And the crisis that causes could be the center of Doctor Strange.
And that's what Kevin Feige did say. He said this movie leads directly into the next Spider-Man.
Yeah. I was just going to say that.
Directly into Doctor Strange, which is interesting because I initially thought it was the other way around. But Spider-Man is next. And we can get into that now. Because if WandaVision leads into that, and then that leads into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, we've discussed that. It's a horror movie, and the word multiverse is right in the title. I think we can kind of piece some shit together here. Let's talk about some of the rumors and some of the known things about Spider-Man.
Well, I start with the known thing is that Doctor Strange is going to be Spider-Man's new mentor figure, since he apparently can't be in a movie without one.
Now, apparently, he's only in it for about 12 minutes.
That's fine. I'm just that's going to be the
Iron Man was only in the other one for 15, so yeah.
What the hell else do we know about it? We're going to see villains. We're going to see two villains come back that are dead.
Yep. Mm-hmm. From other universes.
Yeah, so Doc Ock and Electro, right? And Electro is not going to be blue this time. I heard it's going to be completely different.
It's going to be a different version of them. Yeah. So you can have Doc Ock, Alfred Molina from the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man universe. He's coming back. And there were, I guess, pictures leaked from a scene that looks like a lab that he was in one of the other movies. So, sure. And then you have Electro, Jamie Foxx, who, yes, is not
Garfield verse.
Yeah. And is not going to be voiced by Bill Murray. Or, sorry, Garfield. And then is also not going to have dubstep, hopefully. That'd be great. But he's going to be Electro again. So hopefully he'll be a better version of Electro in this. But he is played by Jamie Foxx to make that tie-in to those movies. And then the other huge rumor is that the other two Spider-Men, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, are going to be in this.
Yeah. In addition to that, the original Mary Jane will be back, even though Parker will still have a relationship with MJ. So it must be another multiverse, Spider-Verse connection, whatever the hell you want to call it.
And yeah, people have also tossed around Venom, Tom Hardy, whatever, but I think that might be to the point where you stretch my ability to believe. But had you told me earlier that Alfred Molina and Jamie Foxx were going to come back, I'd be like, yeah, okay. So, sure. They're talking about Venom coming back, too, or coming into this one. So, why not? I mean, fuck it. Because I've also heard that Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is going to be wearing the symbiote when he shows up. So, who the fuck knows what's going on in this movie? But there's all these crazy rumors going around about it. Everyone on the internet keeps calling it Spider-Man Homeworlds, trying to say that it was leaked. Kevin Feige came out and said, we just keep calling it Spider-Man Homecoming 3. Because he's like, fuck you, I ain't telling you nothing.
Yeah.
So he had, yes, they've come out and confirmed Alfred Molina and Jamie Foxx are in it, and I think Kristen Dunst they confirmed, but
I don't know if Kristen Dunst, but they did say Mary Jane would be back. So I don't know. I don't know who will play her.
But I'm sure if they're going this,
what is she? I mean, she's not doing anything. Why not? Why can't she be in?
Yeah, I'm saying if they're going this deep into it, and she's not busy.
Yeah,
they can get her to come out here and squeeze herself into a cute little sundress and show up and kiss an upside down Spider-Man.
That's very specific.
It's that one scene in the alley.
It's a wet sundress, goddammit, John.
Oh, okay. That's
better.
So I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm all for it. I really do think, I mean, with all the rumors that have been coming on, I would be willing to bet money if I was a betting man that the other two Spider-Man are coming in to this movie. I don't know how it's going to play. If it's going to be a quick cameo and then it burns into Doctor Strange in the multiverse, or if it's going to carry over a little bit. I think that would be cool too. But I mean, you've got a lot of options there. Like you got these guys coming on, you could play into a lot of things. I mean, there's other Spider-Man stories within the comics, like the Spider-Verse series that was in the comics, where people were trying to kill Spider-Man from different realities. They could play around with that eventually too. But I want to see all three of them together at one point. I think it would be amazing. No pun intended. Amazing Spider-Man. So Spider-Man 3, Spider-Man Homecoming 3, whatever the fuck it's going to be called, is going to lead right into Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. This is where I kind of want to get in a little speculation among the three of us. I'm going to throw out my...
Sorry, I'm laughing at myself. I was just thinking, since we got all these Spider-Mans now, maybe it's Spider-Man Homo. They're just going All right, there goes the sponsors. Cut that out.
They just walked out. It's just room. They got to leave too. They're all crowded by my door. Jesus. Oh God. All right.
Thoughts you should keep to yourself. Shower thoughts, right? Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Your shower thoughts? Okay. It's getting better.
As long as Kirsten Dunst is in there, we're fine.
In a wet sundress.
Wet sundress. Well, she would be in the shower. The fuck was I even saying? Okay.
Homecoming.
Spider-Man Homo 3. Spider-Man Homecoming 3 is going to lead directly into Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. I want to talk about a little bit of speculation among the three of us. I'd like to throw out a theory and then leave it on the floor for you guys to agree, disagree, whatever. So the only thing that I know personally about this that I've heard is that Elizabeth Olsen's Scarlet Witch is definitely in this movie. Outside of that,
I don't think I've heard that.
Yeah, I heard that, and then I heard Kevin Feige recently said WandaVision leads into Spider-Man 3, leads into multiverse. With those things laid out, my theory was, like I said, WandaVision is going to be the breakdown of her psyche dealing with Vision. Somehow her reality warping powers are going to cause a global multiverse thing to happen that's going to lead through Spider-Man with all the different Spider-Man coming together and then lead into Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Outside of that, I got nothing.
Have you guys watched Marvel Studios Legends? That thing that dropped, I think, last Friday?
No.
Because the first episode or first two episodes of that are supposed to be some kind of primer for the WandaVision series.
Marvel Legends?
What that come out
on Disney Plus.
Okay, I gotta
it's not a show. It's like, well, it's not a fiction show. It's like a docu-series thing that they're doing. Okay. But I think the first episode or two are supposed to specifically like give you the background of everything that's happened between Wanda and Vision up to now. It's sort of like a primer thing for the series that comes next week or this week.
I mean, if you think about all the stuff that happens in Endgame, the amount of time travel and using the time stone and all of that stuff can certainly open the start of a multiverse.
Yes.
Right. Cap goes back, comes back an old man, and so lives out his life in the meantime. And like all of those things could set off the start of a multiverse.
2012 Loki is running around in his own series. You don't know how that ties in. Yeah. Yeah. I'm only going off of what I've heard about these three movies or the series and the two movies being interconnected. But I really do think it's going to open up a very big deal in the MCU. And I think this is how you're going to wind up with multiple Spider-Man, multiple universes, mutants, the whole nine. Well, I think it also ties into what I said earlier about Kevin Feige saying, "Oh, you're not going to see the X-Men." Maybe not like full blown, but I think you're going to start to get drops of them in there, and he's just keeping it hush hush.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you think about it, like look at some of these titles. I mean, it makes a lot of sense to have a multiverse where a She-Hulk exists, right? Because of a unique set of circumstances in that multiverse, in that universe, right? Bruce Banner's cousin gets a blood transfusion and she's She-Hulk. That Ironheart is that teenage girl that gets a suit of armor. That right, all of these things can live in a multiverse where they don't all have to be in the same New York City. Right now, there's suddenly a She-Hulk, and there's like that creates a bunch of ramifications that they don't need.
Right. Yeah. Okay. To your point, where they don't. Well, actually, going back to my point of they don't have to live all. Combining our 2 points, they don't have to be all in the same. Sorry, I had a thought and it kind of came together as I was talking. Most of them do. They don't have to all live in the same New York City, which would go back to my point of the Fantastic Four. Where the fuck have they been? It could be a multiverse type of thing where this could even lead into one of those end world things where the multiverses are collapsing on each other. And they all start to combine,
right?
Which would be really interesting. I mean, you've already snapped everybody away and brought them back 5 years later, so why the fuck not?
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. I think this is setting it up to be a really cool follow up to Endgame. After like when they finished Endgame, you were like, holy shit, where do we go from here? And I think just announcements alone, I think they started to answer that. And I can't wait for Friday just to start, just so we can see what the fuck we're doing. So, well, shit, I think that might be it, right? We got anything else on MCU?
No.
On MCU?
Right.
No, I don't think so.
MCU, no. Okay, cool. Let's move on quickly because we spent a lot of time on MCU. Sorry,
Yeah.
What If Geeks? All right, so Star Wars, we got a whole bunch of shit coming out of Star Wars. I know we discussed it briefly in Mandalorian.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit coming out for Star Wars.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got season 3 of The Mandalorian, of course. We've got this Rangers of the New Republic series, which we don't know much about, but we can kind of speculate. We have the Ahsoka series, which we're sure who the main character is in that. Cassian Andor, the Kenobi series, which we already knew about. Animated Bad Batch. What am I forgetting? Lando series.
Yeah.
Acolyte.
If that doesn't have Donald Gleason, I'm going to be fucking pissed.
Don Glover.
Glover, sorry.
Yeah. Acolyte.
He did not have a kid with Jackie Gleason.
I'm at the Rogue Squadron movie.
You don't want to be in my head sometimes.
And then the oh no, there's more than I'm still forgetting some. The droid series, which is going to be a retelling of C-3PO and R2-D2's sort of storyline.
Yeah.
Or retelling it from a certain point of view.
Yeah.
And then Visions. I think that covers them.
You mentioned Obi-Wan, right?
And Book of Boba Fett.
Oh, and Book of Boba Fett. Shit. Yeah, Book of Boba Fett. Jesus Christ.
Spoiler alert if you haven't watched the end of The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Why are you here?
So if she doesn't get #canceled, super excited, hoping Cara Dune ends up also in the Rangers of the New Republic series.
I'm sure she will. I don't think she's getting canceled.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough world. Not so excited about Ahsoka, to be honest with you. I thought I was, but I don't know.
I liked her cameo in Mandalorian. I'll hold out until I see a trailer for the series, but I'd like to see it, see what they're going to do with it, because it's going to be about her and Thrawn. We'll get to that in a minute. And but Obi-Wan, dude, Hayden Christensen's coming back as Darth Vader.
Yes, and there's also a rumor running that Neeson's going to come back to redo his Qui-Gon Jinn role.
He said he wants to. Yeah,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
I am all about a Force Ghost, Qui-Gon, and Darth Vader coming back. This is shaping up to be something really cool.
If you tell me that Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau have some sort of Kevin Feige role over Star Wars and all this stuff, I'm in for all of it.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Yes.
Right? If you tell me that Kathleen Kennedy's doing this and she's just going to pick random directors and one-offs and whatever, I'm less excited.
I'm out.
Tell me Favreau and Filoni have this.
Which is what we've said since the beginning of season 1 of Mandalorian.
Yeah, they are fans, and they will make sure that these are good.
Yeah, and I think they do because they've got a multiverse crossover. Sorry, they've got a multiverse crossover look going on with some of these shows that they're gonna interact with each other. So it's gonna be kind of cool. As long as they're in charge, I'm happy. All right. What else on the Geeksphere before we get into our New Year's shit?
A couple things. Warner Brothers decided to stick it to the theaters and pissed a lot of people off. They're releasing essentially the entire end of 2020 and the entire 2021 track of movies are now all coming out on HBO Max at the same time as they go to theaters. Which made a lot of people mad, but there's a lot of things in there that are sort of interesting. So Wonder Woman was obvious, right? And that felt okay. That felt natural. I'm wondering if some of these other things that are much later in 2021 are going to feel so right when they do this. But they got the new Godzilla movie, the new Mortal Kombat movie, another film with the Conjuring series, a Space Jam sequel, Suicide Squad, the Dune movie that they delayed from the end of this year into next year, Matrix 4, King Richard. I mean, there's a whole bunch of shit. I mean, we're talking, 15 movies that they're just like, yeah, fuck it. Streaming and theaters at the same time.
Yeah, and I think they really, like you said, I know they pissed off a lot of theaters doing this, but, I mean, at the same time, you kind of understand in the world that's going on right now, you got to do something.
Well, I get that, but making a commitment this far, some of these movies aren't till the end of this year now. But
right,
it's like, damn, that's a hell of a commitment. Like, yeah, we're just fucking doing it. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Pandemic.
Yeah, especially when more people are going. Things got to open. Really? Now we're doing this? Okay, so. I think more and more shit's going to start opening soon. So I think this is going to change again in the next 6 months. I think it's going to change again. But that's getting into politics, and we don't do that.
If they stay with this decision, and I don't see why they wouldn't. But yeah, stuff that's going to come out that's going to come out in November and December and after. Like, I don't see how theaters make it.
They don't. They don't.
Right. I mean, the biggest movies. I mean, I get, like we talked about. I get that Wonder Woman does this because they've been trying to release this movie since, I don't know, June. And Black Widow's the same thing. And I think and Tenet, we talked about, keep pushing it back to try to get that movie out. But Matrix 4 and some of these others, like, things may be better by then. Maybe they're not. But to make that decision now, to commit yourself to doing this, like, theaters there might be a handful, but there won't be as many as there are now.
No, yeah. And if every studio made this decision, I'd write off theaters already. But, so I'm holding out hope that, because I love going to the movies. It's what we do. We go watch these big movies in the theater, and we come back and we review them. But, is it going to kill me? No. Is it going to be something I miss and, tell my grandchildren about? Like, yeah, back in the day, we used to be able to hang out with people and watch movies together. It was really weird.
Yeah.
Making this decision now is kind of like, it's definitely, let's make a decision to make money as quick as possible.
Not to go on too much of a tangent here, because I'm sure we can't afford it. But You said you like going to the movies. I used to love going to the movies. I still like going to the movies, but I have definitely changed my opinion about where I'm going to the movies and what they need to offer me to get me to go sit in that seat. And it's no longer good enough for me to have to stand in line to get popcorn and soda and then go find a seat and hope I can get something I like. These theaters that are doing, alcohol service at the seats and food service at the seats, and you can reserve your seat the same day you buy the ticket, so you know exactly where you're going to sit.
Yeah.
For me, they better all start doing that, or I was only one place I'm going.
No, I definitely was all about reserved seating. I mean, the popcorn and whatever else, I didn't mind, as long as like Heather and I were on the AMC Prime and the Cinemark, whatever, Cineplus, where you got discounts on the concessions. So we just get there a little bit early and we buy our shit. But I had to have a reserved seat, and that was good enough for me. But yeah, and that's like kind of to each his own. But yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I'll pay $10 to $15 a ticket if I can have all that.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah.
If I'm not getting all that and I have to go to a mall where there's going to be a bunch of teenage kids and like, forget about it, man. Like,
yeah, when I'm ready to choke out the kid in the front row, no, I'm not. I don't want to watch this movie anymore. But yeah, there are certain things that I'm gonna miss about the movies. Like, all right, like when I watched Endgame in the theater, and that pop that you got in the theater when Mjolnir flew past Thanos and Cap caught it, and everybody started cheering. Like that kind of shit, you're like, man, like nothing replaces that.
Yeah.
It's still cool, but nothing replaces that moment where, like, 100 people start screaming and cheering. It's different. It's definitely different. It's definitely a different world we live in now. So hopefully we can get things back on track. I think we all know my faith in our ability to do that, but we shall see. I think we're leaning more toward everything opening up again here in the next 6 months. We'll see. But yeah, I'm hoping because I want to go to the theater and get some popcorn and just watch a movie. But outside of that, where were we right before that? Anything else before New Year's resolutions or?
Yeah, we can't go too far without talking about this Danish TV show.
Oh my God! Yeah. Did you love that, John
Dillermand?
Thank you. Oh my God! So the love sausage of Danish TV.
Yeah. The love sausage for toddlers or something. I don't even know where the hell this is. I don't know anything about this show. I've seen a couple like freeze frame things, but one of them looks almost like a Where's Waldo thing, except this guy has a red and white striped penis, like coming out and
Willie?
grabbing something. Like, what the fuck? So
apparently this guy's got a ginormous dick. All right. For our 3 fans. This is a Danish cartoon about a guy, John Dillermand, with an abnormally large penis, and
he can control though.
He can control it, and sometimes it does whatever the fuck it wants, and it's for kids.
Yes, it is a kid. This is on the PBS of Denmark, right? It's their public broadcasting station.
So every time I think, man, I have seen everything this world's got to offer. Then John Dillermand comes out with his giant cock. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And the minute I heard about that, I Googled it, I found it, and I sent it to you guys. Because holy shit.
I just Googled Danish cartoon giant penis. So
don't Google that.
Here's what I need you guys to promise me. If I'm ever in trouble for something and on the run, you need to come over here, grab this computer, destroy it.
So
the CNN story, CNN headline: Denmark debuts new children's TV show about a man with a huge and uncontrollable penis. The lead of the story says, Denmark's flagship broadcaster has suffered blowback over its newest children's TV program, John Dillerman.
Blowback.
Yeah, an animation starring a man with a penis so massive and flexible it can save children from danger, fetch objects from a river, and operate as a pogo stick.
All right, so here's what I need you guys to do before we continue on with this. I put a link in the chat. All of the episodes. Oh, go ahead.
The last time I tried to save a child with my penis.
All the episodes of the show are available for free to watch online. It does not have an English dub, as far as I know, but I put the link to the show in the chat. I want you to pull that up and just jump to about 2 minutes and 25 seconds or so. And the premise of what's setting up here is he is trying to walk a bunch of dogs through the neighborhood. I don't know if they're the neighbor's dogs or what. And they're all fucking out of control. And his penis ends up grabbing a sausage and then using it like a carrot to like train all the dogs. But he's not controlling it. It's just doing its own thing. It reaches around, grabs a hot dog or whatever, and then it puts it out there in front, and all the dogs like sort of come in line.
Look, click the link I just put in the chat.
Sausage grabs a sausage?
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Click the link I just put in the chat.
Hang on, I can't even find my mouse anymore. I'm crying. There it is. I can't find my chat. Oh, there's chat. Okay. Opening. Yeah, I'm opening. What the? This son of a bitch is floating on balloons by his penis. Oh my god. This has got to be the best thing I've ever seen in my life.
It's fucking weird. Like super weird. And his penis is a little bit like
oh shit, hang on. I gotta shut the volume off on this thing. This thing about John Dillon's penis.
I can't hear it if you got it on, but at some point he goes by some kids in the park and he turns around and starts talking to them while his penis is out there.
Hang on, he was just helicoptering his penis and flying. This thing is like Wonder Woman's lasso.
But can it grab a lightning bolt and swing him through the sky?
Probably.
Episode 4.
But it's also a mischievous penis, right? When a cat comes along in this episode, the penis goes further out and gets all the dogs to chase the cat by putting the sausage near it.
Oh my god. There's a sausage. Oh shit. This is amazing.
So I kind of wish I knew what it said. Maybe it's saying something clever and smart. I don't really know, but I can't imagine how.
I don't know how you add anything clever and smart to this.
Oh fuck! If you go to 4 minutes, he's fishing. He lost all the dogs in the park because of the cat, and he hit a statue. Now he's fishing them out. The penis has the sausage like trailing behind a truck, and every time one comes, it grabs the dog up and puts it in the truck.
Jesus Christ. This is the greatest thing ever.
Oh, and now the neighborhood comes and cheers. Oh, this is great. Anyway, so there's that.
So there you go. People, go check out John Dillerman. Just Google it. Google John Dillerman Denmark, and I'm sure you'll find it.
Not on your work computer.
Oh my god. No. I do like that. Like they had the common sense to have it covered by part of his little striped leotard. Like it's not just like a love sausage running around the fucking.
Well, I have to ask questions there. Like, if he didn't know his penis was a mischievous little character, why did he dress it in that long sock?
Touche, sir. Touche.
Just to keep it warm, I guess. It's cold in Denmark, right?
I try to keep mine warm. Doesn't take as much as that, but holy shit! You know what? Thanks for that, Eric. I sent that to you as a laugh, and I really didn't think that was coming up again. Thank you. Oh fuck! All right. On that note,
All right, New Year's resolutions. We got to get
resolutions. What we want to do. All right. So 2020 was a goddamn fiasco, but it did give us John Dillman and his giant cock.
Right side.
Bright side, silver lining. What are we looking at? This is Paul's idea, and I love it. What are we resolving to do for the new year, as far as what's in our wheelhouse, or just whatever? Like maybe something you missed in 2020, or something you're looking forward to in 2021. Obviously, we just went over way in depth on a lot of MCU shit that we want to go over and Star Wars shit. So we know we're watching all that. Outside of all that, what are we, or outside of what we discussed, what are we looking forward to, or what are we going to do to better ourselves geek-wise for 2021?
I don't know about bettering myself geek-wise, but I know there's a couple movies I meant to watch and somehow missed out on, which was the Mulan live-action reboot thing. Definitely need to see that. Even after seeing people cry about it, I still want to watch it. And then just because I waited so many years and then it came out and then I didn't watch it, The New Mutants. I need to go back and watch The New Mutants.
Shit. Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay, yeah, I got to watch that.
So definitely two films that I absolutely should have watched in 2020 and somehow didn't, and now I really need to go back and do it.
Yeah, and on that note, one other thing that I want to watch, because I'm pretty sure it popped, but because I was joking around about it earlier, is Mel Gibson's Fat Man. I need to watch that. That looked amazing. So yeah, all right, Paul. Since this was your idea,
yeah. So
you had a really good one, and I had questions. So go ahead.
So for me, it is the part of Star Wars that I'm not very well versed in are the novels, and sort of all that extended universe stuff, Legends and EU and all that. So I'm starting with the Thrawn series, especially because in The Mandalorian, as Ahsoka Tano has that confrontation with the magistrate, she asks about Thrawn, and it's I know those books are good. Timothy Zahn's a great author, and so that's
I know he showed up in the cartoons.
Yeah, that's a part of the universe I'm not conversant in, and catch up on the Clone Wars.
Okay, so what the Thrawn novels that you're speaking of are the originals by Timothy Zahn back?
Yeah, Heir to the Empire, Thrawn, and I forget what the third one's called.
Yeah, I forget. But I read those back when they came out, and that's what. And we discussed this a long time ago, but that's what kicked me off onto the Star Wars extended universe, and I read a whole bunch of shit after that. But yeah, if you're gonna read them, I'm gonna go find them and I'm gonna reread them, and then we can talk about them. But it doesn't have to be a show; we can do it offline. But yeah, I would love to reread them because they're really good. I think you're gonna like them a lot. No, but on your note of Clone Wars, that's something that I've felt I've been lacking for like at least a year since we've been watching Mandalorian. So I want to go back and I want to watch Clone Wars and Rebels. Definitely want to do that. I also want to continue on with The Stand because this show is amazing. And like we said, all the Marvel stuff. Can't wait for WandaVision. And that's about it for me, really, outside of, whatever kind of pops on our radar. And then I go, ooh. But yeah, definitely want to catch up on Star Wars shit. There's a bunch of Lego shit that popped on Star Wars over the last couple of years that I love the Lego little skits. So I want to watch all that shit. A lot of Disney Plus little things in there that I didn't see that like we've mentioned that I want to go watch. How about you, Eric?
Well, movies I mentioned aside, games. I know you guys aren't huge into the gaming thing, but over the past few months, even though I haven't played one of them, games came up on sale and I just bought them thinking, yeah, I'm going to go back and play that, like a Star Wars Rogue Squadron. I used to love the old X-Wing games, on the computer. Yeah. They were super awesome. I've still got a really cool flight joystick that works with my computer. And so I bought the game. I downloaded it, installed it. I have not opened it. Well, that's not true. I opened it once, but I opened it one time and never actually played it. I only opened it because I got an offer for like like helmets or something like for the characters off of something else like Amazon games or whatever. And I was like, oh yeah, might as well grab that. But so I haven't actually played it yet. I've actually got a handful of those games that I purchased on sale and I haven't played yet. So I need to find some time to do that. It's not that I don't have them, but just don't have time somehow.
Well, I mean, on the game note, thanks to Paul, he mentioned he had bought a gaming console from our buddy Ray, who's been on the podcast. Ray makes emulators that are like they're a conglomerate of like everything you possibly imagine. But the main two that he makes right now are like a Super Nintendo and a Nintendo one. And I've got one here that I got for Noah, and we've been playing it a little bit. But there's so much shit on this thing that's kind of like every once a week, he and I try to get on there and just start messing around with it. I love this thing. This thing is amazing.
So fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I've already got like another game on there that's for the PlayStation, but I've got controllers I just ordered on Amazon that are like PlayStation USB so that they have the buttons that I need for it. Because I tried to play it. I couldn't play it because I didn't have enough buttons on it. So I'm waiting on that. But yeah, so I'm messing around with that thing a lot. That thing's cool.
So a couple years ago, I built a RetroPie, which I think is what he uses for those things. But that covers the whole gamut of original arcade games up to, in some cases, PS1, but maybe the generation right before that. I don't know, or
yeah,
it was GameCube. Or So, yeah, I mean, it really goes the full scan. And you can kind of get whatever you want at this point because a lot of those games are sort of well past worrying about copyright infringement and stuff.
Yeah, and the cool thing about it is, like, you know, where a lot of them have been lost just through process of elimination because new systems come out. You've got an avenue where you can go and you can play all these old games, and we've been having a good time since Christmas that Noah opened this thing that we've been playing with it. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's
interesting to watch your kids start on the games we started on, right? Because it's part of the emulator is a Atari 2600 emulator, and so we started with Combat, and Coleman's like, "What is this?"
Yeah,
right. And we played it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, this is kind of fun." And then you move up to like regular Nintendo and Super Nintendo and whatever. So it's sort of like walking him through the video game museum.
I didn't quite go that far back, but like one of the first ones we played was Elevator Action.
Wow, yeah.
Super simple game, but you know that was really cool. And then Spy vs. Spy, you remember that one?
Shit, you just reminded me because you said Elevator Action. You reminded me I need to download Keystone Cops because I've got the ability to download to the system. So I've downloaded.
My kids, we jump on and play the Ninja Turtles, like the early '90s Ninja Turtle arcade.
Yeah, the one that was for the arcade. Oh, is that the same one that came out on the original Nintendo? Where it was like a side scroller?
No.
No.
But our system has that as well.
Yes.
It's got a whole bunch of different Ninja Turtle ones.
Yeah.
I'll show it to you this weekend, Eric. It's ridiculous. When
we probably have the same stuff.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've pulled mine out, but it was the RetroPie.
Yeah, that's what I said.
That's what John Dillerman said.
Yeah.
No, he pulls it out all the time.
Yeah.
Way more than I do. But yeah, so I'm messing around with that. And then the only other thing I'm doing, and at least Eric will appreciate this because he got a Traeger not too long ago, is I've been smoking the hell out of everything I could possibly find because Heather bought me Pit Boss for Christmas. So, yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
We're wrapping up. I'll be right there. Okay, I'll be right there. All right, so yeah, I mean that's everything I'm doing. I'm just trying to find more stuff to smoke. I haven't gotten up to weed yet, but
yeah, there's all stores for that now.
You'll know when the whole back of the neighborhood is just like whatever. All right, so I think is that about it?
I think so.
All right. Well, everybody, hey, hit that like, subscribe, ring a bell. Tell us what you thought about everything we discussed. What's coming up in 2021, what you guys missed in 2020, what your resolutions are. And help spread more geekery around, I guess. And I guess hit us up on Facebook.com. What if geeks at gmail.com. I fucked that one all the way. All right. Hey, hit us up at geeks at gmail.com. God damn, I fucked it up again.
Take 3.
Hey, so that's it. Let us know what you guys think. Like, subscribe, hit a bell. Comment down below what you're going to do for 2021, what you missed in 2020. And hit us up at whatifgeeks.com, whatifgeeks on gmail.com, whatifgeeks at Facebook, Gmail, Instagram, Twitter, and all that happy shit. Good night, Tony.
Good night, John Dillerman.
Good night, AMC theaters forever. Oh, that's premature. Sorry.
Wow, that's